I originally thought I'd be making a story time on this topic, but hey, I'm too lazy to do that, so let's just get into it. I'm a university student studying electrical and computer engineering in a small local university in my country. Now, if you know anything about Asian families, specifically South Asian family like Bangladeshi, Indian, or Pakistani families, is that your parents make choices for you all the time. Some people see this as a negative, some people see this as a positive. Well, positive is a hard word because there's a stereotype that Indian brown boys specifically will be coddled by their mom till they're 30 or something, like a prince treated by the queen, and that is not actually a false thing. This is a side effect of them trying to control like every aspect of your life, and I'm really glad to say that my parents were not like that. However, I have grown up in a society where the majority of the people are like that, and this may have affected both me and my parents. So subconsciously, or maybe not really subconsciously, but not definitely not consciously, they have been trying to influence my choices. Like from little they would ask me, what do you want to be when you grow up? A doctor, an engineer, or a lawyer? It's kind of limited within these three choices when I didn't really want to be either of them, but I was really into computer games, so I thought maybe if I could be a computer scientist or something. I didn't know what that word meant, but maybe I thought if I could be that, then would get to play more video games, something like that. So ever since I was little, from primary schools, inside my mind and inside the expectation of our relatives or family, the career choices of my future would always be limited to these three things. And obviously, I chose engineering because I really did not want to be a doctor, even though I really look up to my father, who is a doctor and lawyer. I didn't have the slightest knowledge or interest when it came to, courtroom dramas. That's what I thought being a lawyer was all about when I was a kid, and that impression stays even now after playing all the Phoenix Wright games and watching Judge Judy or something like that. So fast forward a few years, a decade maybe, and I was graduating from grade 12. Okay, so let me explain something. In our country, college is grade 11 and 12, not university. University and college are separate, different things. High school ends at grade 10. After graduating college, I started preparing. So I went to a coaching center and I started preparing for engineering, and I gave admission tests to variety of universities. The university admission process in our country is not centralized, so you have to go to each university to give the admission test. It's one of the perks of living in a small country, is that even though transportation might be really bad, I could just travel around the country and give lots of admission tests, and I have passed most of them, and I just randomly picked the engineering university where I got the best results, which is the one I study at today. And I was really excited for, I don't know, the first 6 months until my expectations came crashing down and I saw what engineering university in my poor third world country is really like. It is all theoretical studies. There has been hardly any hands-on practices, even though they claim that they have sessional classes. By sessional, even though my course is supposed to be electrical and computer, for electrical engineering side of that, 30% of it is still on the computer, and the rest of the 70%, 40% of that would be actually going to lab and doing sessional stuff by hand, but the labs are really old, the facilities are outdated, and we are definitely not gaining the most modern, up-to-date teachings on the subject. Computer engineering side was fine, 2016, because at that point we were just starting to learn programming, stuff like that, and that was enjoyable. So in any case, my disinterest in half of the stuff I was learning, mainly the electrical engineering part, it started to show in my examination results. I did quite well in the top 3 or 4 in the first exam, but after that, the result just getting lower and lower. And by the end of, I think, the third semester, I kind of shifted my interest from actually studying engineering in my university to digital art. That is not to say I would actually waste the 4 or 5 years I would be in my undergraduate studies in universities. No, I have still been trying to at least pass with a passable result, preferably keeping the result above 80% marks, which might be a bit hard. The CGPA grading here is out of 4, and my CGPA is like 3.1, 3.2, so that's not that bad, but it's not really a good result either. In any case, back on the topic, I have not done art seriously since grade school, or I think the third year of my primary school studies. At that time, I was in an art classes, and I was kind of interested because they mostly taught traditional art here, nothing like anime girls or realistic game style blenders or renders or stuff like that, but mostly like paintings of sceneries, lotus flowers, mangoes. And that was kind of what the most polite way to put it would be boring. Not that all traditional arts are boring, but specifically in that case, I was really tired of drawing mangoes for the 48th time. In university though, at that point, I have already watched hundreds of animes, and my addiction to it started like since I was 8 or something, and then I've started translating from Japanese to English online. I've started scanlating mangas, if you know what that means, translating light novels. I've done a lot of stuff in the anime community, from being a moderator in a very active anime community and forum, to translating stuff on Bakatsuki, Endless Abyss scanlation, stuff like that. And I was really interested in anime in general, so I started. At that point, I got in contact with a little site we all know as DeviantArt. I pronounce it as DeviantArt, but sometimes, but yeah, that site. And I usually browse only the most popular pages. There was in the old site before Eclipse. I don't know if they still have that now, but you could categorize the entries which you saw by most popular 8 hours, popular 24 hours, stuff like that. And I only browsed the most popular art pieces, and wow, I was fucking impressed. There was an artist called Sakimi-chan that really caught my eyes. There was another one called Artjarm, Groovy, Exlor. Overall, it was a brand new world to me. At that point, I've been watching stuff like The Odd One Is Out, Domix, and Jaden animations too. So slowly but surely, my interest had been shifting from general life and engineering studies and just gaming all day, League of Legends or Overwatch, to trying to get into more this personalized art community. I became more active on the forums and the DeviantArt page and the groups and stuff. I made friends, and some of them did art, some of them did mouse art, and some of them just hanged around for the fun of it. But the main change came at the end of 2016 and the start of 2017, when I was just browsing DeviantArt like I did every day, and then I saw this character art by an artist named WLOP. I think his real name is Wang Jing from China, but he draws some really really mesmerizing stuff. And he has this comic going on with all the original characters he writes called Ghost Blades, and I read it on tap and I was just mesmerized. I think that's a correct way to put it. And the next day, the very next day, I ordered a Wacom tablet. I had some money left over. As I said, I did a lot of translations work, and translation works from Japanese to English. Even if you're not getting officially paid, you can make some good money with it, more than a beginner artist. That you can be sure of. So I spent about $350 of pocket change to just buy a fucking wake up tablet the next day, and I bought a second monitor, and then I bought a better graphics card, a bunch of traditional art supplies like drawing books, a whole pencil set. Overall, I spent close to $1,000 the very next day I saw that comic. Okay, maybe not the very next day, but within a week. Within a week, I spent a fucking lot of money and I just bought it. And I had a friend at that point who was really good at digital art too. A Facebook friend I've known from online back from on my translation days, and I've been asking around for advice from him, from my friends on DeviantArt, and I just started drawing, and that's it. That's how I got into digital art. This is not saying that my interest in digital art has been non-stop and continuous and I have never hit an artist block. I have, if counting from the beginning of 2017 to till now, it's been roughly 3.5 years. And in that time, if you only count the time I have been active drawing, not the exact hours I have been drawing, but maybe like I've drawn at least for 10 hours every week, then I would say the time would be 1 year, and the rest of the time I've just been dawdling around. But it's something that I don't actually leave for good. Like, Overwatch, I quit playing that game. CS Source, I quit playing that game. World of Warcraft, Grand Fantasy, Eden Eternal, those are games that I have never been back to after I quit playing. But digital art, this hobby, gaming is also a hobby, but this exact hobby, I've never really left it away for more than 1 month. Maybe when I hit artist block, I just stop for a few months maybe, and I come back better. Most of the time it's just 1 week or 2 weeks. Few months, that's a long time. But yeah, at this point I'm just rambling. So I don't know how many people enjoyed listening to this story, but that's how I got into digital art. Well, I'd be interested to hear what you guys think, how you guys got into art, in the comments below. And that's it, I guess. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for listening to a story nobody asked for. This has been your host, Cat V, and I will see you on the next video. Peace out.